Go for the stars.
4, 3, 2, 1.
This is the Produce Your Own Life podcast. Life is a script. It's time to write your story. Welcome your host, actor, director, producer, writer, and author of the recently released book, Shattered, A Journey Through the Pieces, the man who inspires millions through storytelling and interviews. The one, the only, Rodney Damon Collins. Thank you for listening.
What's up and welcome to the Produce Your Own Life show. My name is Rodney. I'm the host and creator of this show. This show is a product of JRC Legacy Productions. And today I am very excited because I have a very close brother, friend, incredible actor, talented writer, producer in the house. He is one of the stars of the NBC hit show, Grand Crew. Make sure you check it out. You can also watch the replay on Hulu and Peacock or Peacock.
Right now it's just on Peacock.
On
for
Peacock.
Season 2, yeah.
But we're going to say it's going to be all over the world.
There we go. I'll take it.
But without further ado, show some love for my great friend, Mr. Aaron Jennings, everybody.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, man, thanks for joining, man. So,
Most definitely.
so how's life been? It's been a couple months since I've seen you. Now I know you be busy, man. So
Yeah, man, life's been good, man. I can't complain. Obviously, Season 2 of Grand Crew hit the waves already, so we aired March 3rd. We are on Friday nights at 8:30 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as you already said, you can find us on Peacock streaming the day afterwards on Saturday. So, we're excited to have that out in the world and to see how the audience responds to this next season. I feel like we put a lot of love and care and attention into it. So, hopefully it resonates and hopefully it shows. But outside of that, man, just been doing some writing, and then went out to your hometown of Cleveland with Rick Page, who's the DP of Grand Crew, who directed this project and wrote it. And that was a lot of fun. And just, plugging away with some press stuff and some PR stuff for the show, and then for my own stuff on the side. And it's been a good ride. Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's good. It's good to hear that you was with Pretty Ricky too. Pretty Ricky is what they call him.
Oh, yeah, Pretty Ricky. Yeah, most definitely. I call him
shout
Mr. Rick Page. I call him by his full government. But
Shout out
Pretty
to
Ricky's
Rick.
a nice one as well. I might have to adopt that one.
Pretty Rick Page.
What's up, Pretty Ricky?
Say shout out to Rick. But man, I have had the opportunity to watch you work for the past couple years, and I am extremely impressed with the type of actor you are. One, how you treat everybody on set. That was the first thing I saw. You treat everybody from, it can be the person grabbing the trash, it can be whatever. Everybody gets the same amount of love. And when I saw you do that, I was like, okay. He's already a great actor, but now he has the character that I love to see. So I just want the world to know this is coming from me. He didn't pay me to say this, y'all. So,
I'm gonna Venmo you right after.
yeah, the Venmo will be coming. I'll be looking for it.
I appreciate you saying so. Thank you, man.
I just had to
That means a
speak
lot to
that
me.
because in this industry, as you know, a lot of people are tempted. You get caught up in yourself. So I just wanted to say thank you for being a genuine person that really makes everybody feel like they have a place on the set. So.
Well, thank you for acknowledging that. I'm glad that you feel that way. Like I said, that is very important to me, and I think ultimately that all stems from just my upbringing and my parents, and the household that I was raised in. So shout out to Mom and Dad, Brenda and Juanita Jennings, for that, instilling that sort of value system in both myself and my brother.
Thank you, Mom and Dad. For those of you guys who don't know, he's Hollywood royalty. He's next generation in the industry, and his parents are incredible actors in and of their own, too.
Absolutely.
I wanted to get into some of the questions that I have for you, because I know you're a busy man. So I appreciate
no
you
doubt,
taking
man.
some time for
It's
me.
a pleasure.
When did you know that acting was the right path for you?
It's a good question. That's a good question. I mean, I'll go back a little bit if we have some time. I started acting. I started really taking the craft of acting seriously in, I guess, 10th grade. Prior to that, I was really just like hooping, and that was my main love. Obviously, as you know now, I'm like 5'10 and a half, 5'11 maybe on a good day. So I think I picked the right the right industry in the long run. But at any rate, yeah, I mean, some people who've heard some of my other interviews might already know this, but in 10th grade, I transferred schools from a school out in Compton to a school in Santa Monica. And at that point, I transferred because the school that I was previously at, they didn't really have too many arts electives, or, they weren't offering much in the way of arts. And so I knew that there was a void in me that needed to be filled, and I wasn't going to get that filled there. And so I asked my parents if I could transfer schools, and they obliged, and luckily I ended up in a place that was a liberal arts school, high school, and offered so many arts electives, so I was able to really get my feet wet with directing, which I ended up going to undergraduate for a couple of years, didn't graduate. And then, Silly. Well, I have to, I just want to let that be known, because it's like sometimes people get the wrong impression, and people think that you have to necessarily graduate from a program in order to matriculate in this industry, and that's not often the case, or always the case. So that's why I wanted to point that out. But
no problem.
But yeah, so at the school that I was at in Santa Monica, which is New Road School, that 10th grade, when I really started to kind of like focus on my acting, that's when I fell in love with it, and I've fallen in love with it every year since. I think more and more, the deeper that I ingratiate myself into the craft, the more I've fallen in love with it. I think that's like anything, right? The more you give it, the more you get out of it. Right. So to answer your question, that was a long-winded way of saying, I guess 10th grade would be my answer. I then left school early, my senior year of high school. By early, I mean I kind of was asked to leave because I was checked out, and kind of did it purposely in a lot of ways. And so I ended up going to an independent study program and getting my GED. Okay. And that's when I decided that I was going to act professionally. Gotcha. And my parents, because previously they were like, man, we're in this industry. We see the way that this industry treats children. Yeah. And it's just not an environment that we want to place you in. Gotcha. They would get offers from friends or producers or writers. Oh, Aaron, does he want to audition for this or that? And they'd be like, nah, he has school, he has basketball, he has this, that. Let him be a kid, and if he wants to come back to it later in life, when he's an adult, then we'll fully support that. And they did. And so I left school 17, like I said, got that GED, and then sort of been chipping away at the proverbial stone ever since, you know what I mean? From classes to doing a lot of stage work, and then going off to school for a bit, and then coming back because I realized, hey, acting is what I want to do. And I already had, I was lucky to already have a support system in place and have a manager and agent here in LA prior to going to undergraduate. So it just felt like LA is where I needed to be. Right. That's dope. That's kind of my story in a nutshell. But yeah, I mean, I think the thing about acting that I love in particular is it's not like being an athlete. You know what I mean? With an athlete, you can, obviously the older you get, sometimes you're no longer able to compete at the same level, but with acting, I think the older you get, the more mature you get, the more life experiences you have, the more well-rounded you become as an actor, as an artist, and so the love of acting has grown and grows.
Well, I see. Well, you answered kind of like I had another question just about growing up, and kind of, which I appreciate. That's why I listen. Sure. I listen more than speak. Okay. That's a lesson for you guys out there. The more you listen, the more you learn. So.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, I was like, he covered some of the stuff I wanted to touch on by just me listening to you. Sure. And your journey, and I love the fact that you even brought up about school and stuff, because most successful people, there's more successful people who've gone to school and said, you know what, this is not the path I want to go. I need to go. Sure. And it's I love that, because that's encouraging for me and for other people. So. Yeah,
and look, don't get me wrong. I'm not advocating against academia, or I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but I do advocate for, or I do always try to suggest to people that they follow their own hearts and intuition, and try as best they can to trust themselves, and sometimes that goes against what the rest of the world thinks, feels, or is doing, but if you know and feel in your heart that it's the right thing for you to be doing,
right,
then do that,
Well, let me encourage you, man. School is life is school.
Yeah,
every facet of life is learning. So there's the formal education, but then there's the education that comes from life experience.
Right.
To me, that's just as valuable. So those both are on the same level. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So I look at it like a person doesn't have to have a certain level of degree to show me that they are successful. So,
right. And there's many ways of educating yourself. Right.
Yeah.
Like you can go to a conservatory program and like a Juilliard or Yale, Carnegie Mellon, so on and so forth, North Carolina School of the Arts, and you can get your education there, and and that might be the right path for you, But also you can do sort of what I did, and kind of just jump right in and do your theater, do your I've done 99 seat to regional, and everything in between, and so you just sort of. I still wanted to study my craft. I still believe you need to hone your craft and study your craft, and there's just a multitude of ways that you do that, or you can do that, And I was just never really thrived in traditional school systems, so I knew that thinking of going for another 4 years to a program just seemed so. Oh, it just seems so daunting,
It's a little laborious.
Yeah, a little laborious, exactly. And so, I chose the path that I felt was right for me at the time. And look, there's been times when I've had doubts, like, man, maybe I should have went to this program, maybe I should have done that. You meet people along the way who have, and but at the end of the day, I think you just have to stay true to yourself. So
I love that, man, and I always want to speak that to you, man. You are incredibly talented. And you got the gift.
Oh, thank you.
So it has nothing, it has nothing to do with what level of education a person gets, and that's what other people who are listening to this, they're going to be encouraged to hear this.
I hope so.
Yeah, they really are, because people are going to look at you on TV and be like, man, I can see myself there.
I hope so, man. I mean, that's all I want to do is inspire. You know what I mean? If I can, when I can, and it took me a while to I didn't always share that piece of my history, in interviews or just with people and life.
Yeah.
I kind of kept that hidden. I think I was a little ashamed of it now, looking back on it. You know what I mean? In retrospect, and so I've tried to make it a point whenever asked to mention it, because it's made me who I am, and
heck yeah.
It is my history.
Bruh, there's a lot of people who have 2 words with their name who would love to have walked your path. Student loans. So
no doubt. I don't have those. That's
there's a lot of people who are wishing that they can get some of that stuff knocked out so they can do what they want. And life is not about, following this path that there's no certain roadmap for life.
No,
we've been sold a bill of goods,
right, for sure.
And I'll be the first one to say, they tell you go to high school, okay, get your degree, get your diploma.
Right.
yeah,
get your diploma.
Yeah,
then go to undergraduate, get your degree.
Yeah,
then maybe go to graduate school and get your degree
and work for somebody.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and just work hard for 40 years and die.
Right. Yeah.
It's like that's not a life.
But for some people it is, but it just wasn't the life that I wanted for myself. So.
I love that you covered it up, because I was going to say that's not a life, y'all. But that in my opinion, I feel like God has placed me on the earth to do much more than to punch somebody else's clock for 40 years.
Sure.
And I knew that from the day I walked in corporate America after school.
And how long did you work in corporate America again?
Oh, 20 plus years. Yeah.
Damn, that's quite a long time. Yeah,
it's a very long time. It'll take a few years off your life.
Yeah. And at what point in that In those 20 years, did you know that, it wasn't the path for you?
Oh man, I love this. The interview switching. I like it. No, you know what? I knew from day one.
Okay.
But my thing was I was engaged to be married to an incredible woman. And my wiring wouldn't allow me to step outside of the norm. I was afraid.
Right. Okay. Okay.
I was afraid of what people would say.
Sure.
Growing up in the Midwest.
Sure.
Entertainment is not, a big market there for you to work in entertainment on a regular basis. So I had a great job in corporate America. I worked with State Farm. I know I wasn't Jake, but I did work for State Farm, and I had said the entertainer. He said he worked for State Farm too. I didn't know.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
We both had the same type of job. We were claims adjusters before I became an agent.
Okay.
But from day one, I knew I didn't like it, but I had this woman I was getting ready to get married to. I had the word responsibility all in my face. I was scared. And I had all these other people looking at me sideways, including my father-in-law, like, hey, man, don't marry my daughter. And then you start, flipping out on her.
Right.
So I had all this outside pressure instead of just talking to my future wife and saying, hey, this is what I feel I should be doing. Do you want to be a part of this journey with me?
Right.
So now that's why I encourage my son to make sure that when he's ready to get married, that if it's somebody he falls in love with before his career, gets to a certain level, just make sure she's okay with what you're doing. Don't stop what you love. So then you get off path with your career goals. And then that's when you get married, and then you got 20 years of responsibility. Because my daughter came, and my son came 15 months apart.
Wow.
They're 15 months apart. Yeah, okay. Look at him smiling over
there.
Yeah. Yeah, and when they came, I was like, my life has changed. It's beautiful.
Right.
I wouldn't change anything that I've been through.
Right.
Because it's made me a better man. It's prepared me for this industry. And I'm not sure me being new to the entertainment industry would have had the maturity level at 20.
Sure.
To handle the challenges of the industry.
Yeah. There's a lot, man. I'll tell you for sure. Like, I've gone through a lot of ups and downs, and it'll test
like,
you in many ways.
Mufasa, say it again. It's like, man.
Yeah.
I was just I couldn't do it. I don't think I could do it at 20. And this was meant for me to step in later in life after I had some life experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then 20 years later, you do have that conversation with your wife. And is she like, it's about time that we've had this conversation? Or what's the response?
Well, it was funny because I got laid off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a job that moved us out here.
The universe sort of made a way.
Kicked me out. Yeah, kicked me out. It was like I had never been laid off in my life. And a job moved me out here. Saying they, we got the world waiting on you in beautiful LA. We got all this stuff in position for you.
Is this 2020? Is this?
No, this is about almost 8 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure if this was like
before.
affected by.
It wasn't affected by COVID. It was affected by lies.
I
was lied to.
Okay. All right, right on.
They didn't have stuff in place like they said they did.
Right.
And within 6 months' time, they were like, hey, things aren't going as we have planned for this position, and we would like to see if we can offer you a different job, less pay, more incentive. I was like, hold up.
Yeah.
You moved me to LA from Cleveland.
Right.
We had a very nice home in Cleveland, 2,000 square foot, 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath house, $150,000. That's all the house cost. Brick house.
Right.
Wait, it was a brick
house.
Yes. It was nice, man. Yeah. Like finished basement. It was like, middle America would be like, oh, y'all living the dream.
Sure.
So, I left all that for this job, and then they said they had to lay me off, and I was at a point in my life, I'm like, man, I could do that, or I don't think I want to work for anybody anymore like that.
Okay.
And I had a good conversation with my wife, and I told the guy who offered me the job, I was like, man, it's time for me to bet on me. And he looked at me like I had lost my mind. Like, he looked at me like, man, you don't want to do that. Just like I said, the Midwest mentality is like, if you got a good job or you got a job, you be thankful. You get your job and you shut up.
Sure, of course.
But I was just like, I don't want to do this. My life is short, and I know what I'm gifted to do. And my wife was like, baby, I trust you. She was like, you work hard. I've never seen you one day of my life that I've been with you be lazy.
Mm-hmm.
So if this is something that you're ready to do, then let's do it, baby. So we continue with our move here. We sold our house.
Wow.
In the midst of me being laid off.
Yeah.
And I started working little background stuff because I didn't know anybody here.
Right.
So I did some stuff for Central Casting. That was like years ago. And before you know it, I met a guy working background, and he was kind of writing a script. So, because anytime I go to work, if you know me, I'm always trying to learn from people.
Sure.
So I don't take anything that I do like, oh, I'm just here. I'm here to get something that's going to help me be better. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, dude, his name is Nico Sparks. I was like, man, what you doing, man? He was like, man, I'm writing the script, man, I'm finalizing. I got to finish this pitch deck. I didn't know what a pitch deck was. I was like, I'm thinking baseball. I'm thinking baseball.
Yeah, pitch deck. All right, cool. Yeah, I know about that.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I'm going to be pitching this show to HBO and to Amazon.
Nice.
It's called Chosen Kin Origins. It's like a little sci-fi show. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, that sounds dope. I like that. Man, 6 months later, he calls me. He's like, Rodney, you remember the show that I was telling you about? I was like, yeah. I was like, what's up? He's like, I got picked up by Amazon. I was like, oh, that's dope. It was like in the early years of Amazon streaming. So it was like one of the early shows. It was like a short type series.
Okay.
And he was like, they picked us up.
Wow.
And I was like, dope. I said, us? He's like, yeah. He said, man, I wrote a character for you. Yeah. That's how you look at it. I was like, what? You what? He's like, yeah. He was like, I was like on the phone, like looking like, I'm getting punked. I was like, he's getting ready to I was like, don't nobody in Hollywood do this stuff.
Sure.
But he was like, no, dog. He said, I checked you out, the little stuff I had at the time on me. He was like, I could tell you got, you can act. He said, I know you kind of raw with it because I was still very raw.
Yeah.
But he was like, I like your heart more. I like your grind. He's like, I wanted to give you an opportunity.
Nice. That's love.
And I was like, you want me to audition? He was like, you want to make it harder? Yeah. But he's like, I'm trying to give you the job,
Right. What don't you understand? You have the job. The job's yours. Take it, man.
Yeah, I was messed up, bro. I was.
Nah, I hear you.
But that's what happened. That was like my first major thing for me. That actually is what made me eligible to join SAG.
Okay.
And my character was Dr. Watson.
Okay.
And he was
Start calling you Dr. Watson.
Hey, I'll roll with it. He's a mix
Pretty
of
Ricky and Dr. Watson. That could be like a crazy series. I don't know.
Pretty Ricky and Dr. Watson.
I don't know
the Adventures.
Yeah.
Adventures.
It's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Is that what it is? It's like the duality.
Heck yeah, I can do it, man. He was a mix of Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury and David Duchovny, his character in the X-Files. I think his character was Mulder, right? I can't remember.
Oh, Mulder, yeah.
Exactly. So my character was like that.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, because I knew about the alien invasion coming. I was like a government scientist.
Oh, okay.
So,
nice.
So my character, Dr. Watson, was a bad dude.
Nice.
Bad, shut your mouth. But so it was just cool to actually watch something. And to this day, I can go watch it on Amazon.
Okay.
And I'm like, wow, that was like the first thing. And
so
then
it's still on Amazon?
It's still on. Now you got to pay $1.99 to watch it. It used to be free, but
$1.99.
Yeah, they pimping people now, man. $1.99, to watch the episode.
You're worth $2, man. I got you, no doubt. You're worth more than that, but you're definitely worth the $2.
Hey, I appreciate that love. I really do.
Most definitely.
So that's kind of how it happened. And the last thing, the Cliff Note part was when I was still doing some background, like consistently, it was a Sunday. Like a producer had posted on a Facebook group saying, hey, we're shooting a couple scenes from our film, and we just want to see if somebody's available to come do a background role. It's non-pay. Okay. We'll give you credit. And, at the time, my resume was about as big as one line. Right. So I was like, hey, I need something on my resume. I was like, even though it's background, I was like, I can't use this on my resume, but I need to just get up there.
Sure.
So I DM'd the EP, and I sent my headshot and everything, sent my little one-line resume at the time. And they was like, okay, cool. We'll see you at Castaway in Burbank,
wow.
4 o'clock.
Wow.
And that Sunday, I was like, well, I'm not doing nothing, so I'll take the offer. So I go up there. I arrive, very professional.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I wasn't the principal, I treated myself like I was the principal. I was dressed and ready to go, like a half hour before I was needed. Next thing you know, we started running a scene in the restaurant, and the producer was like, this was like an indie project. It was called Emerson Heights.
Okay.
It was indie project, so the EP, everybody's right there. Which even on your show,
Yeah, for sure.
our show, but your show,
Right. Our show. You had it right the first time.
I'm Aaron's stand-in on the show, just to let you know. But it was just like it was really cool because they called cut, and then they came up to me and was like, Rodney, are you an actor? It's like, yeah.
As a matter of fact, I am. So glad you asked.
It's like, yes, I am. And it's like, well, we have a few lines because my character was a waiter.
Okay.
And, it doesn't look right for a waiter to go to somebody's table and you don't say one word.
Right.
All you doing is grabbing plates and walking. They was like,
the whole time,
this ain't feeling right. So
Right.
they gave me some lines. And from that point on, they paid me for the day. They gave me, credited, IMDb as one of the principals in the film.
Nice.
And the EP for there still recommends me for commercials.
Nice.
To this day because she was so impressed that I came to serve the project.
Right. And I think that's important. Like, I think in this industry, it's such an insular industry, and everyone knows each other, right? Or 6 degrees of separation. Like, you're one person away from this person, and so on and so forth. And so it's imperative to like treat people well and always be as professional as possible.
Facts.
Because word gets around, and you never know. You never know what position a person's going to be in down the line. You know, not that you treat somebody well for your benefit, but it's the right thing to do, and it's a smart thing to do because you just never know. Someone who's a PA today might be a producer tomorrow. Who could possibly hire you in your next film or TV show. And so I always stress that to people, like as it was stressed to me. Just be on your best behavior and try to treat people with kindness. And give people grace too.
I hope everybody's listening to that. Kindness, man, goes a long way, man. It doesn't cost you anything to be kind to anybody.
Not at all. And people want to work because, spend 12-hour days, 14-hour days on set. And they want to work with people that they enjoy being around because you end up being around them more than you do your family, when you're in production a lot of the time. So it's like, they're your family away from home. And so, try to treat them like you would your family.
That's true,
The
bro.
ones you like. 'Cause I know how family can be.
Yeah, that's why I look at everything I do in this industry like an incredible blessing because after 20 plus years of doing something I didn't love, that's because I was sacrificing for my family.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that every day I can look and do something that I like to do. If I'm walking on set, if I'm not acting for the day, if I'm standing there for you, dog, I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. I love being on set. Yeah.
I be coming into work pumped up, having a good time. Everybody's like, what happened today? I was like, no, I got a chance to do what I love.
Yeah.
It's like I got a chance to be around what I love. If I'm not acting, I'm standing behind the camera watching you all.
And Video Village, yeah.
Rick always kicked me out today. Rodney, get out of here. Get out of here. Go sit down. But I'll be standing right there looking. And but he appreciates that though too.
Oh, of course he does,
Yeah.
And he sees that, I think my brother might have first given me this adage, but it's like people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Facts.
You know what I mean? And so that just shows that you're passionate about something.
Yeah.
And so long as you, relatively stay out of the way, but you show your interest and you're there, like you said, to serve the greater whole, then people take notice of that. You know what I mean? As I have with you, as many people have, it's like people can take notice and then they want to support that,
Man, I want to segue a little bit. This ain't a good segue because I didn't do it the way I wanted to. But
well, that's life, man. You
yeah,
never know how it's
exactly.
gonna go.
Yeah, it didn't. But I want to go into like auditions a little bit.
Sure.
And I remember my first audition in LA was a nightmare.
Yeah.
And so this how it went. You can tell. I want to hear because we all got a nightmare story before we had a good one.
Plenty, man.
This is a cardinal rule. Don't ever try to do a monologue based off of very famous actors.
Oh yeah, don't do that.
From a film. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
What was I thinking?
It's okay.
Oh my
we
goodness.
live and we learn.
I tried to do. Remember the Denzel Washington. Remember the Titans. I choose Denzel of all people. I'm gonna do this Denzel scene.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill it. Like, I knew it.
Now, what is this for, by the way?
It was for an
give me the
independent film.
context.
Independent film. I got called into a studio. This was back when you can come in person, which
which I miss.
I miss. I like in-person auditions.
Yeah, I agree.
Even though it frees me up to do other stuff, in-person auditions is nothing like getting there in front of the camera. You're sitting in the room, you're preparing.
Right. Yeah.
It's
to piggyback off that, like, I just miss also like being in the room. I mean, it's kind of like as an athlete, like, practice is practice, but game day, man, I'm there. Let's go. You know what I mean? Your adrenaline's pumping a little bit. And I like a little bit of that. You get a little butterflies.
Yeah.
Doing self-tapes, there's benefits to it as well. There's an upside. But the downside is you're not in the room with that casting director, and you don't get to get feedback, or you don't get to ask questions about the character or the story. If you have genuine questions like, I was thinking, or you have an idea, and you kind of get to talk it out with them, or they'll give you a note. Here's an adjustment. You get to make an adjustment that they know is based off of what the producers or writers have told them they want or looking for in the character.
Yes.
So you don't get that. So it feels like many times when I'm doing a self-tape, it feels like I'm just, throwing spaghetti against the wall? Is that what they call it? You know what I mean? Where I'm just like, man, I hope, this is my take on it, but I could do it another way if I knew, not that I'm aiming just to please, but it's like, you kind of sometimes don't have that guidance, and a lot of times they're not giving you the full script anymore either. So it's like you don't have context,
facts,
and so you're just kind of using just your own imagination and your own instincts, which is fine. But I miss that as well. You know what I mean? I miss being in the room, and
I definitely miss it, man. And I'm gonna finish this quick one, man. But I tried to do Remember the Titans.
Yeah,
when they were outside the cemetery, Arlington.
Okay.
When after he ran the players, they got up in the morning and they went for that run.
Yeah.
Because Remember the Titans is one of my favorite movies.
I love that movie. I'm trying to like.
He woke. It was when they was at football camp.
Yeah.
And he woke him up early in the morning, and he was like, "Run!" They ran.
Ronnie's about to perform it for us. Watch.
Hey, you never know. I will never try to do that again. Never. But I tried. I knew it. I knew it verbatim. I was like, it was in me. But as soon as I got in front of the people, oh my goodness, it was disastrous.
Really? What happened?
I choked. I started forgetting the lines because I was trying to sound like Denzel. Everything. I was like, oh my goodness! Now I have my own monologue that I've written myself.
Okay.
So if anybody ever asked me for a monologue, I have my own that I wrote.
Right.
But oh my goodness, that was awful. I would be like, don't ever try to do a popular monologue.
I hear you.
Oh my
goodness. Yeah, that's a cardinal sin right there. Because everyone knows it and loves it and reveres it, and so it's like you're just setting yourself up for failure. As good as it is, as good as it could be, it's never going to be what Denzel did in the eyes of many. So
never.
Yeah. No,
they looked at me like I really was like I was naked.
Yeah.
That's how they was looking. Like they was just like. I know in their minds, I can't believe this dude just did this.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll never probably see them again.
But you learn as much from your failures as you do your successes. You know what I mean? Like you really do. You really do.
Yeah.
I've had so many bad auditions, or at least auditions where I felt like, oh, that did not go as planned. I had one in particular for this play. About Emmett Till that they're going to be doing, I think, at the Goodman Theater in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Director Oz Scott was going to be casting. He was directing, and he's a friend of the family. And then also, I had done a stage reading of this same play with my mother prior to this audition, but for some reason or another, I don't know. I just felt going into it, I was very nervous, very insecure. And my anxiety got the best of me. And I didn't really prep the audition well. You know what I mean? And sometimes your anxiety just becomes crippling. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's how it happened for me. And so I remember going to this audition. It was like on La Brea, and I had parked on the street. I think I was coming from work too, because at the time I had a survival job. I was coming from work. I was young. I was 17, 18. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you'll assemble that.
Yeah. and I crossed the street to go into this office, and there's a few guys ahead of me. Michael B. Jordan is there. his boy Sterling is there, and I mean, I would see Mike all the time coming up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But we were all there, and you know, guys were coming in, coming out, coming in, going in, coming out, going in, coming out. And then I think there was like maybe 2 guys ahead of me, and all of a sudden I look over across the street, and there's a tow truck towing my car, and I'm like, oh, so I run outside. I'm like, hey, man, yo, I'm so sorry I'm at this audition, man. Please, like, please don't tow. Like, I don't have the money. Like, I'm not going to be able to get it out.
Yeah.
Like, and he's like, I'm sorry, man. It's already on the, on the tow bed or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck. All right, so I got to go back across the street. Now, I'm already nervous about the audition itself.
Yes.
Now I'm anxious about the car situation. How am I going to get out of here? I remember Mike, shout out to Michael B. Jordan. He was like, hey, man, I don't know. He probably wouldn't remember this, but he was like, yo, man, you need me to take you to your car after the audition? To the tow truck yard or whatever? And I was like, nah, I'm good. I called my homeboy. I'm like, it's all good, but I appreciate it. But that was an act of kindness on his part. You know what I mean? And so anyway, I'm just in shambles, man. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, fuck this. And I remember going into the audition, and I'm like, I almost had a breakdown. Like, I'm about to start crying. You know what I mean? And I talked to Oz, and I'm like, yo, I'm reading it, and I just stopped, and I was like, man, I'm sorry, man. I just had my car towed. I'm not really prepared. Like, I'm not gonna waste your time. Like, I'm about to get out of here. You know what I mean? Because also I'm feeling like he knows my parents. Like, literally, like his daughter and my brother went to preschool together.
Oh,
like we go to we're at like family events together. So there was also the pressure of the moment. Like, I have to perform well, because this is my legacy, my name. Like my parents' name is.
Yes.
I'm trying to follow in their footsteps, and so it's important to me that I do well. So all that pressure just came, and I just crumbled in the moment, But that's the worst audition that I think I've ever had. I've had others, but that's the one that's like that comes to mind. That's like probably the most memorable. Where I'm like, shit, this is a disaster. I felt terrible for like months after that. Like, it took me a while to get back in the game. You know what I mean? Because you start doubting yourself. You're like, man, I don't know, man. Am I doing this for the right reasons? Do I really have the gift? Am I talented? I need to go study. I need to get with the teacher. Like, because that shouldn't happen, you know, and it does. It just does. I mean, the moment was too big for me for whatever reason, or
Man, oh my goodness, man, my heart goes out to you.
Thanks, man.
We'll pour one out. For you. Pour one out for it.
Yeah, but at the same time, all right, to put a spin on that to make it a positive. I definitely learned a lot in that moment, though, as well, right? And I think that moment brought me to where I am today, which is like, if anything, I try to be over prepared, if there is such a thing. And I definitely always do my best to never find myself in a situation like that again. You know what I mean?
Man, but it's hard, though, especially like when you're young in it, and it's like your car getting towed. It's like, because I'm pretty sure Uber and Lyft wasn't even big back then.
Not at all, man. Not at all.
So it's like, okay,
this is like
you like how am I gonna get home after this?
Yeah, no, for sure. And then I had to wait for the homie to come pick me up, and and then he took me, and I don't even know how I paid for it to get out. He might have loaned me the money. Who knows? You know what I mean? But it was a mess, man. It was a mess. And then all the while I'm feeling like a failure. Like I could still actually. I can place myself in that moment, and it comes back. You know what I mean?
No, but those ones keep you humble.
It does, and I
humble moments.
I wish
right?
I could get it back.
Yeah.
It keeps you humble. But I wish I could get that moment back, because I don't know if Mr. Scott has ever called me back in for an audition after that. No, he asked me to do. He asked me to do something since it, but
Hey, you know what?
I definitely think it.
If a person hold that against us. That's their problem. That's what I had to chalk it up to with my bad one.
Right.
I was like, if they just go hold this against us.
No, well, you've only had one bad one?
No, I was just talking about the most memorable one.
Oh, okay. I'm like, man, you
ones.
are lucky, because I've had many. I was just giving you one.
No, I've had numerous bad ones.
Sure.
Especially in my early days,
Yeah.
because just the lack of preparation.
Right.
It hits you because you just think if I can, if I don't develop a system,
Right.
and now I have a system now that helps me. But
Sure.
and honestly, self-tapes actually helped me do that, get more confident in my auditions.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. And hold on, pause for. It's 4:42, so we're gonna go about 10 more minutes.
I got you on time.
Oh, okay. Let me know when we're down to about the 5. Let me know when it's like 4:52.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
All right, cool. Because I know we.
I got you.
I
got it.
I knew we wasn't gonna get through all the questions. I just like to over prepare.
Sure. And my bad. Let me know if there's something else you want to talk about.
This is chilling. The whole purpose of me doing my podcast, people get to know you. It's not about my agenda. It's about my guests.
Right.
So don't worry about that. I'm happy just to be chilling and chopping it up because
it's
been several months, and during the season, obviously, we don't get a chance to chop it up like that on set because you're busy, and I'm typically, standing in, and then you come in.
We're both busy,
and he chilling in his trailer, y'all.
Oh man, get out of here!
And I'm sitting in a little chair out there eating a snack, but that's how it's supposed to be. He earned that. No, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
I'm just teasing.
Funny.
I gotta tease my man.
Like I'll be in my trailer. Rodney, stand in for me. Where's Rodney? Get over there, Rodney. Nah, I'm just joking. No.
I'll never forget when first time I went by your trailer because I needed a Red Bull. I was so tired.
Oh yeah.
And you was like, I got it in my trailer. I was like, you got Red Bull in your trailer? He opened up the fridge. I was like, dang, he got a fridge.
Yeah.
He got a fireplace. I was like, oh shoot, I need to move up there. I was like, dang. But these are the beautiful things of why you work so hard.
Yeah, and you'll get there for sure. You'll get there.
So I tease my man, but it made me smile so much because Grand Crew is a show that has an all-black cast.
Yep.
And to me, it's very successful, and it shows us in a very strong, positive light.
Yeah.
And see, that was my segue into Grand Crew. How you like that one?
That was that's smooth. I like it. Yeah. No, I mean, we're like you said, an all-black cast on NBC, on an NBC sitcom, and so that. We definitely don't take lightly. We understand the significance of that, in representation.
Yes.
And I think Phil Augusta Jackson, the creator, does a really great job of writing stories and has written characters that, like you said, shows in a positive way, but in a very human way. You know, it's not monolithic, and we've said that over and over again. But more than anything, it's like we just want people to maybe see themselves or their friend groups or one of their friends in one of our characters, if not all, and then also just to have an escape and to laugh, man. Yeah. Like, the world is hard enough, I think.
Facts.
And especially with us, I guess I can say coming out of the pandemic. I don't know. We're still in the pandemic, but
they haven't officially declared. I don't even think they know what they're doing.
I don't either. But but I know that people need a release, and people need to feel connected, and and hopefully the show does that in some way. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, it's dope, man. I think we were talking offline a little bit. It's like I enjoy going to work every day. I enjoy the people that I get to work with. I think that translates onto screen. I think you said that you think we have really great chemistry.
Amazing chemistry. Yeah.
We got lucky in that instance.
Yes.
But yeah, man, it's a pleasure to be a part of something like that, and hopefully we get to continue. I would like a couple more seasons of it, really get to flesh it out a little more, and
I believe we're gonna see a lot more of that. And I have to tell you, my younger brother in Ohio and my nephew in Ohio, they love Grand Crew. I'm
nice.
Serious. When he found out I was working on it, he was like, "You working on Grand Crew?"
Oh, dog.
He was like, just love the show. He watches it consistently. So I just love the fact that he's always, he's supportive. But I just want you to hear that you got fans.
Hey,
his name is Sheldon.
Shout out to Sheldon. Thank you for watching, Sheldon. For real, I mean, I genuinely mean that. Thank you for watching. Anybody who watches the show, like, we appreciate it. We appreciate the love and support, and hopefully we can just continue to make some people laugh.
Oh, you will. I really while we're talking about Grand Crew and your character Anthony,
Yeah.
It's funny that both y'all names begin with an A.
I know.
I was like, they might as well say Aaron.
Yeah, right. Yeah. A lot of people on set is funny because my name does start with an A.
Yeah.
They'll be like Anthony, or I'm sorry, Aaron. I'm like,
right.
you can call me either one. Yeah, it's all good. I understand it. We're kind of messing with y'all in that regard. But the character Anthony, I mean, I think he, I like Anthony because he's very focused on his career. He knows exactly what he wants. And that kind of, I think, sometimes creates blind spots in his life, which are kind of funny for the audience to watch. I mean, and he has this neurosis. I think that's quite humorous and also very, very human, right? I think we all know somebody like that, or we all have aspects of ourselves that are like that. So,
right.
It's really fun to play that. But I think as far as like representation, he's a college graduate and he has a nice job. He's a senior vice president at his company, and it's nice to play a guy who's in corporate America, black in corporate America, good at what he does, loves what he does. Because there's so many men like that, black men out there that I know personally, and that I'm sure you know personally.
Yeah.
And so just to see that on screen is nice.
It's
you know
dope.
what I mean? And then you get to juxtapose that with someone like someone like Noah, played by Echo Kellum, or Sherm, you know what I mean, played by Carl Tart, or Wyatt, who loves his wife, and is a photographer, but still depending on his wife, a little bit, but they have such a great bond that it doesn't matter, and so Justin Cunningham does a great job with Wyatt as well.
Yes.
Obviously I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the two ladies of the bunch, Gracie Mercedes.
Yeah.
And Nicole Byer.
What up, ladies?
Yeah, who play Faye and Nikki respectively. But I think it's really great because I think we can all see ourselves represented in each of those characters, or people identify with one in particular.
Facts.
And so there's it's a nice array of characters.
Man, I love the cast, and I think it's beautiful. Every time I watch it, it's just like, man, it gets me pumped up. It's seeing how talented the cast is, the chemistry of the cast, and that you all are really just all in. Even how Phil is.
It starts with Phil.
Is
it
so
really does.
Cool, approachable to be. He comes on the set. You don't even know he's there sometimes.
Yeah.
You turn around and Phil's standing behind you, like, hey, what's up, Phil?
Yeah, for sure.
But he's a genuinely good man.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
But he's extremely gifted. He writes great content. So
for sure.
It's good to see, man. I was like, we're running close a little bit out of time. I have a couple of things I want to pose to you. So as we run towards the end of this thing, first thing I want to know is, what is your mantra? Do you have something like that? You looking in the mirror, brushing your teeth like your character Anthony was doing in that episode.
Brush it. Yeah. My mantra, man, is to thine own self be true and live and let live.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah.
Dang. Okay. I think y'all can take that. That's pretty.
It's pretty straightforward. Yeah.
All right. Next one is, if you were an animal.
Mm-hmm.
Rah.
Mine. Yeah.
What kind of animal would you be and why?
A wolf.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm actually supposed to get this tatted. I've been saying it for a few years now, but definitely a wolf. Because wolf are pack animals, as we know. They hunt in packs. They're very pack oriented, family oriented, if you will. But there are times when wolves need to go out on their own as well.
Fact.
And that's very much something that I identify with. Mm-hmm. I mean, I believe in the concept of tribe and family. I'm close to my family. I think a lot of what I do is for my family or extended family and my friends. But I also enjoy my own solitude at times. Mm-hmm. And I also sort of, listen to, like I said, I know something true. Like, I listen to my heart. And so I know that that's my guiding light. Gotcha. I'm not completely, what should I say, influenced by family, their expectations, you know what I mean, of me. I have to do what feels right.
Got you.
In my heart. So, yeah, I think wolf is fitting in that regard.
All right. Not werewolf, but wolf.
Nah, like not a werewolf. Nah, a wolf. Yeah,
All
like
right.
a lone wolf.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that, man. You know, with that being said, my last thing is, can you speak something to the people out there who are watching, listening, who want to either work as an actor or whatever they want to do in life, but especially working in entertainment? What would you tell, like, somebody who just, talking to you? You probably had this chance to talk when you were in Cleveland doing a class or something.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, what would you tell somebody?
I think first is asking yourself why you want to do what you want to do. Like, what your reasons are for wanting to be an actor, right? Like, to really identify that.
Yeah.
Because everyone's in this industry for different things, and none are more correct than the others. You know what I mean? Some people want to really tell stories. Some people really want to be seen and be loved and want that shine, and want the fame,
Right.
or to be on red carpets and connect with other people, with other actors, and rub shoulders with those people. And, hey, man, I don't knock it. You know what I mean? But I think it's I always try to identify, okay, what, and I ask myself, why am I doing this?
Yes.
Because it's not an easy path,
Nah.
as you know. And you're going to be tested. There's a lot of ups and downs, a lot of highs and lows, peaks and valleys. And, I think what keeps me in it is always my passion for the craft and passion for storytelling.
Yeah.
My love of acting and my desire to get better.
Yes.
That's always at the forefront for me. So then the next thing I would say is, once you've identified that, it's like, if it is one of those reasons that I just named, then, like, study your craft.
Yeah.
Really immerse yourself in the world of acting and film and theater. And, I was having a conversation with my brother just last night. He's like, man, I love this shit. You know what I mean? He's a writer. He's like, I love this shit. Like, I eat, sleep, and shit this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's serious.
That's how we feel.
Yeah.
It's like, I would do it for free.
Yeah.
I've done it for free.
Me and you both.
And I hope I don't have to do it for free again. But I will if
Me
I have
neither.
to.
So
You know what I
nobody
mean?
submit me no offer.
Yeah.
No freestyle. I did that.
But all jokes aside, it's like, yeah, man, like, fall into the craft and constantly always trying to hone it. And for me, that's the mainstay.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Man, Aaron, I can't say anything but thank you.
Thank you for having me, man. It's been a
for
pleasure.
Spending some time and just chopping it up with the brother. People out there, this dude is so genuine, man, and I've come to really look at him as a friend. And
Likewise.
I think our relationship is still growing over time, but
Sure.
I was like, man, I don't really call a lot of people friend.
Right on.
And
I feel you.
I was like, man, I can actually say I feel like I'm a friend.
Likewise.
And I have so much respect for your journey, not just acting, but as a man, everything that you've done. And dog, you're just scratching the surface.
Yeah.
You're just scratching the surface. I see so many big things for you, not just in the industry, but the lives you're going to impact. There are so many people who need people like you in their life. So I'm excited to be able to say I'm part of the village.
Hey, man. Ubuntu, right, as they say. I am because we are. I am because you are. So,
All right.
yeah, most definitely, man. I love you, man, and I appreciate you for having me.
Hey, much love. See,
Yeah.
see, much love to you too, brother. See, that's the thing. Black men, we can say we love each other. See?
Yeah. Most definitely. I say it all the time.
It's like-
Yeah.
Like-
And I mean it when I say it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Get with us. But with that being said, I want to thank you for joining the Produce Your Own Life show.
For sure.
You have been a shining example of what this platform is about. It really is. So thank you for blessing my platform with your presence. And this is only the beginning. I have a feeling our relationship going to continue to grow and grow and grow. And a lot of stuff we're going to be doing in the future.
Absolutely, man. Thank you. It's been an honor.
All right. And with that being said, we're going to say a peace. But before we say peace, Aaron can let you guys know right now how you want to follow him and stay on track with his career.
Yeah, man. So you can find me on Instagram It's at Aaron Taylor Jennings. It's my full government name. I'm thinking about changing that, but for right now, it's at Aaron Taylor Jennings. That's really all that I have right now as far as social media goes. I have a Twitter account, but it's dead.
Yeah.
And then also please do watch Grand Crew on NBC.
Yes.
Friday nights at 8:30 p.m. and then on Peacock the next day, Saturday. So appreciate you for having me, man. Thank you for letting me plug that, and hope to see you again soon.
Always, man. Always much love. And remember, when you're watching it, get your friends to watch it. Get your family watching it.
Yeah.
Let's
drink some wine, baby.
Exactly.
Drink some wine.
Exactly.
Clang, clang.
Clang, clang,
Like to
clang,
say.
clang.
Clang, clang.
Peace. All right. Boom. All right.
Yes, sir.
And I'll do like an outro, like at
Okay.
home I'll record like a separate outro for the episode.
No doubt, man.
Man, this was fun.
Yes, sir, man.
This was
Thank
so
you
much
for having
fun.
me.
I looked at, I said, dang, it's already.
I know. I was like, we could have kept going.
Listening and watching the Produce Your Own Life podcast with Rodney Damon Collins. Be sure to rate, like, subscribe, and share on all podcast and social media platforms. If you have questions or would like to be a guest on the show, feel free to reach out to us anytime at produceyourownlifetv@gmail.com. Remember, life is a script. It's time to write your story. Until next time, produce your own life.